Ben Johnson being introduced as we speak. Did he choose the Bears just as much as the Bears chose him?
Yeah. So this one's fascinating. I mean, we can start with the Raiders, like what the Raiders did with Ben, where at the very beginning, Ben wasn't going to take an interview with the Raiders. And Tom Brady actually called Ben's agent and sold him on the idea of it. He spent an hour on the phone, and that was when Ben accepted the interview request. He was really intrigued by Brady's vision. Brady saying that he was going to be involved and that he wasn't going to put anything that was an embarrassment to his name. Like he was really determined to change the face of the Raiders. There are these money people that are coming in. Egan Durbin, CEO of Silver Lake, has 7.5% of the team now. Big private equity guy. Tom Wagner is Tom's partner from the soccer team over in England. He's an investor too. So he really liked the idea of what Brady put in front of what Brady put in front of him. And then, with the Jaguars, I think that was a little bit like Shad wanted to go through his process, and that process was moving along, but maybe not pacing as fast as the others. And so, I think this goes back to a year ago. Like, I think 1 year ago, if the Bears' job was open and they had offered the job to Ben Johnson probably would have accepted it. It was my understanding at that time that was the job he wanted. Then in the year in between, I think both sides sort of recalibrated, where the Bears had kind of leaned towards we need a leader of men, more someone who's going to be able to coach all 53 and not just one. And Ben kind of looked inward at the Lions and said, I want something like this. So I want alignment between the general manager and the head coach, and I want an ownership group that's going to be willing to see its mistakes and fix them. And so that's where it kind of felt like, okay, is this a match, right? Does this really work?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the good thing about that is they went through the interview process kind of through that lens, both of them, and they came to the determination, not only can Ben Johnson coach the quarterback, but he also can be a leader of men in his own way. It's going to look different than Dan Campbell, but he's going to be a leader of men in his own way. And then on the flip side, Ben could look at it and say, yeah, I like Caleb Williams, but on top of that, I really, found common ground with Ryan Poles, who was sincere and real with Ben during the interview process. And I see an owner in George McCaskey who does look like he's prepared to look in the mirror and does look like he wants to fix things and does look like he's changing the organization. And so, I think in that way, it's sort of, I think it was good for both sides, going from where they would have had the marriage a year ago, maybe under a different context. And now they've had the year kind of where a lot of this stuff sort of came together for them. So I think it's kind of a cool backstory to the way the whole thing worked out. And now we get to see what it looks like with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams working together in Chicago.
Yeah, right. And Caleb's there. His cast in his hand had to do with the cyst, I guess. So there's nothing serious going on there. And off we go. I mean, that's the marriage that we're going to see. And what a fascinating addition to the NFC North and subtraction within the NFC North right here. Getting ready. Albert Breer here on The Rich Eisen Show. Catch The Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern for free.